Well, here we are breaking camp on Friday, April the 30th, 2021. We're at mile 573.4 today after a 17-mile hike yesterday, which actually surprisingly went much easier. You can hear turkeys gobbling in the background. Was much easier than the 8-mile hike we'd done the day before, mostly because of altitude and steepness. Yesterday was pretty much just a road walk, and a lot of it's downhill, so just about as easy a condition as you can possibly get. Today we're going to get on trail, and actually this is the trail down to the water source yesterday, which was probably 3/10 of a mile and switched back over some really steep terrain, but once you get down there it was beautiful. So anyway, today we've got 5 miles to our water cache, food cache, and fuel cache, and rum cache. If we can find it. The app that we use, GutHook, upgraded after we put in the cache points and broke all our map associations, so we may have trouble finding it, which is really severely irritating. I've discovered that I like cold coffee in the morning. Maybe not as well as hot, but we've been out of fuel for a few days, and I've been drinking cold coffee, and it hadn't been bad. Might get used to that. We went 200 miles on the Colorado Trail without a stove a couple of years ago, and it was a lot because of coffee that we went back to stoves, but I don't know. Well, we're off the road and back on the trail. Well, we've walked a couple of miles, and I'm eating some cold oatmeal that I soaked for the last hour. For some reason, stuff that's cold is way sweeter, I think, than stuff that's warm, so I'm having to choke it down. But we're taking a short break. Our cache is about 4.5 miles up. Oh, and I forgot to mention we had our first mosquito last night. The first of, I would imagine, a billion that we'll see. Well, we found the cache and the water and a little bit of rum that I'd left. 2 gallons of water, 2 buckets of food. It's going to be nice since we've been kind of out of food a little bit. So, yay! Okay, those of you that were interested in the cheese challenge, the cheese that was underground for 2 weeks has a little growth there and a little bit there. A little there, just some spots. I'm going to surgically remove those, and we've got a big old piece of cheese. Well, we're sitting here enjoying the fruits of our caching. We've got lots of water, lots of food, and the hiking is easy today so far, so wow. We're getting paid back for all the horrible suffering we did over at Mount Taylor, which wasn't that horrible actually. So we walked over to the road where we left our cache and found it without any problem. The waypoints were accurate and easy to use. So we just discovered we can walk 4 miles on the road instead of on the trail, which will be easier and better graded for this big descent we've got coming up. So we're going to do about 5 miles on the road and then rejoin the trail at a spring down here. We're both pretty heavy, picked up a lot of food and water, so that's good, but it's good for tonight and stuff, but not so great on our backs at the moment. But that's what it's all about. That's the game. I think we're about to enter a stretch where there is no cover at all. Well, we're dropping down onto the desert floor now. Come down at least 1,000 feet, and we've got about 35 miles of that. Well, we've descended all the way to the desert floor on the road our cache was located on, and we're about to take the turn that takes us over to the trail. Our environment has changed remarkably today from woodlands 1,200 feet up from here to desert. Cool. Well, we hiked 13.5 miles today and ended up on the desert floor. We dropped down over the last couple of days from 9,500 feet to about 6,000 feet. So we're going to be not cold anymore, maybe. We'll see. It was actually quite warm, if not hot, this afternoon. So one of the reasons we chose to do this so early was to avoid the severe heat that can hit these desert areas. And I think we're just in time. It's going to get really hot for the peloton behind us. There are a number of other hikers who have started later than we started in Pytown. They started back at the border, and we don't call them the bubble. We call them, from our perspective, the peloton. The peloton is descending. So we have a water trough. It's got good water right over the hill here, and lots of water we carried all day today. So we're set for the evening. And gosh, I just love it to sit here after we have made 13 or 14 miles. I like to just sit and camp and read and make some notes and make videos. It's just as much fun or more fun than hiking. Okay, this is a perfectly clean wet wipe. This is that same wet wipe after face, neck, and legs. We have a visitor in camp, a big old bull. Hopefully not at all interested in us or goring and killing us. Good boy. Yeah, big old balls. Okay, we're boiling, and then we're going to simmer some soup. So now we're having soup. And it's really good. Took 15 minutes to cook on simmer, but we got plenty of fuel, so it's very delicious, especially with pretzels, as you might see.
Soup and pretzels. What has our life come to?
Well, it's delicious. It's come to deliciousness. And here's our spring. We're going to get 3 liters out of this for tomorrow. It's a little bit hazy. This is our campsite tonight. Luckily, the trail doesn't go to the top of that, surprisingly.